السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Dear brothers and sisters, Allah Azza wa Jal says, إن الله يدخل الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار والذين كفروا يتمتعون ويأكلون كما تأكل الأنعام والنار مثوى لهم. Surely Allah has the believers that believed and did good deeds enter into gardens with rivers flowing beneath them. And those who disbelieve, Allah says that they eat and enjoy as animals do, and hellfire will be their destination. Allah Azza wa Jal says, إن المتقين في جنات ونعيم. The God-fearing folks are in gardens and joy and luxury. آخذين ما آتاهم ربهم. They are receiving joyfully what their Lord has provided them with. إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك محسنين. They surely used to be good doers, magnanimous people in this world. كانوا قليلا من الليل ما يهجعون. They used to rest very little at night. وبالأسحار هم يستغفرون. And during the time of suhoor, they used to seek forgiveness. وفي أموالهم حق للسائل والمحروم. And in their wealth is a rightful share to the person who's asking for help and for the person who is deprived. Allah Azza wa Jal says, مثل الجنة التي وعد المتقون. The example of the paradise which has been promised to the God-fearing people, the mindful people, the people who are mindful of Allah. فيها أنهار من ماء غير آسٍ. It has rivers, not one river, not a pond, not a little water fountain that you buy from Costco. It has rivers. فيها أنهار من ماء غير آسٍ. Water that is flowing and never spoils or has any of that green algae or any of that stuff. Just beautifully crisp Jannah water, rivers. وأنهار من لبن لم يتغير طعمه. And rivers of milk that never spoils. And rivers of milk that never spoils. This is not a fantasy, this is real. This is real as it gets. Not a gallon that you buy. And those who, mashallah, want to take it to another level, they buy a share in a cow and then they take the fresh milk and then they go and boil it at home and then they drink it. Mashallah. No, you get rivers in Jannah. وأنهار من لبن لم يتغير طعمه وأنهار من خمر لذة للشاربين. And rivers of wine that is tasteful and delicious for those who are going to consume it or drink it. See, subhanallah. Alcohol in dunya is nasty tasting. It makes people vomit, makes them sick. Despite the propaganda that you see on television and all the commercials, it really is not that way. You ask anyone that has drank this stuff, they will tell you it tastes nasty. In this dunya, the alcohol of dunya is nasty. on the way in and the effect it does to people, for the most part. The degree of domestic violence, there was a study in England, and the rate of domestic violence and wife beating, to be specific, that takes place in the non-Muslim society during every soccer match that takes place is alarming. Alarming. You can look it up and you can read the study with the statistics. And they attribute that to the alcohol that is consumed during those matches. In Jannah, Allah gives those who refrained from the dunya intoxicants the most delicious and beautiful wines of Jannah that don't come in stupid little glass bottles. It comes in rivers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes that, and He says, يَطُوفُ عَلَيْهِمْ وِلْدَانٌ مُخَلَّدُونَ بِأَكْوَابٍ وَأَبَارِيقَ وَكَأْسٍ مِّن مَّعِينٍ لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون. They have servants that are constantly serving them with pitchers, cups, and glasses that has this special wine from Ma'in that doesn't give them this effect of hangover and sickness and vomiting and headaches. It doesn't give them that. Brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared such a Jannah. وَأَنْهَارٌ مِّنْ عَسَلٍ مُصَفًّى, and rivers of pure honey, flowing honey. Doesn't have any of the sham', what is that? Wax. Doesn't have any of that. SubhanAllah, just pure honey. Not from the bees. There's no giant bee in Jannah and giving no. It's rivers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded, and it's happening. Subhanallah. وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ, and for them in it are all sorts of fruits. All sorts. SubhanAllah, once in a while I get on TikTok this guy that lives in some sort of island, and he always has these exotic fruits. He says, today our fruits I am eating, and he has this funny accent. And he just gives you the funniest looking fruits. Some of them I recognize, many of them I don't. And you're sitting there and he's like, this tastes like, and he had today, I think he had a red burgundy looking fig. And he says it tastes like a fig mixed with raspberry jam. Subhanallah. And you're looking at all these other things and you're wondering, Jannah has much better than that. That's why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ, all sorts of fruits, all sorts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَفَاكِهَةٍ كَثِيرَةٍ لَا مَقْطُوعَةٍ وَلَا مَمْنُوعَةٍ. Lots of fruits. It doesn't come in seasons, and it's not something that you can't reach or not within reach. Everything is available to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فِيهِمَا مِن كُلِّ فَاكِهَةٍ زَوْجَانٍ. Subhanallah, it has multitudes of variations from each fruit. متكئين على رفرف خضر وعبقري حسن متكئين على فرش بطائنها من استبرق وجنى الجنتين دان. When they're laying down, those mattresses or sofas or bed sheets, whatever you may, in dunya, there's, mashallah, thread. I know a lot of the guys may not know this, no offense, but the sisters know this. There's like thread count, right? You just don't go and buy a bed sheet. Doesn't work that way. First, you got to find out what is it made of. You stay far, far away from the polyester stuff. That stuff will not make you comfortable. Then you buy the cotton. And then when you buy the cotton, there's thread count. There's 400, 500, 600, 800, and then you start going to the luxury brands. And it goes to any ridiculous numbers of thread count within, I think, a square centimeter or inch. Jannah doesn't have the cotton. It has the Jannah type of silk, of Jannah, not the dunya silk. The names are similar, but the quality is much different, much more superior, much more comforting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَنَى الْجَنَّتَيْنِ دَانٍ. As they are seated and laying down on these comfortable, mashallah, materials, the fruits are coming down, not on some sort of bag from, Kroger or somewhere. No, no, no. It's coming, the tree itself is laying down. Can you imagine? The entire tree is filled with fruits, just fruits ripened, perfectly ripe. And it's actually so full and so abundant that it leans towards the person to just take it. It leans towards the person as their comfort. You don't need a ladder. It comes to you and you're just like enjoying it. The description is specific in the Quran, Surah Al-Rahman. على سرر موضونة متكئين عليها متقابلين. They're laying down on these beautiful beds. موضونة, when you read the tafsir, the bedpost, the bed head, not the bed head, your hair, the bed head as in the post. Here, mashallah, sometimes you find it made of wood, looks nice. And then sometimes now I think they're into the soft stuff, the cloth, right? And then, subhanAllah, in Jannah, those has actually gems, diamonds and pearls and subhanAllah. But it's the Jannah stuff, much more luxurious, much more comfortable. They're laying down and they actually can see each other. So while you're laying down, you want to see so-and-so, you're there. Laying down on your beds. وَفَاكِهَةٍ مِّمَّا يَتَخَيَّرُونَ. And fruits from whatever you choose out of any of the choices you want. Anything you want. وَلَحْمِ طَيْرٍ مِّمَّا يَشْتَهُونَ. And meat of birds. Whatever you desire. I know, mashallah, some of us are diverse in their food and some of us are very limited. Some of us would say birds, okay, chicken, right? All of us know chicken. Then if you're a little bit more, mashallah, some of our Pakistani brothers know quail, right? A lot of the Arab brothers know that too, quail, right? And then you have, if you take it to another level, then you have pigeons. The Egyptian people in the back, they're all like salivating right now. And then inshallah, then you go further more, then you have ducks, you have geese, and you have, I know it's a little exotic beyond some people's exposure. And in America you have, mashallah, the turkey as well, right? Birds, all kinds, you keep going, mashallah, all sorts, and much more. وَلَحْمِ طَيْرٍ مِّمَّا يَشْتَهُونَ وَحُورٌ عِينٌ. Beautiful spouses, Allah gives those who stick to the halal in dunya. كَأَمْثَالِ اللُّؤْلُؤِ الْمَكْنُونَ. Those hur, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes like they are preserved gems or pearls. They are like preserved gems or pearls. لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما. They don't hear in Jannah any type of nonsense. Sometimes a guy gives you a headache. Sit there 15 minutes listening to something that has nothing to do with anything. You don't have that in Jannah. And you also لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما. And you don't hear nasty stuff. SubhanAllah. Sometimes people are just, the shaitan takes over and a person starts to say horrible things. And sometimes they can say it so nicely, but it's just horrible. Always just nasty stuff coming out. This person, that sister's daughter, that brother is... Ya akhi, stop. Wallahi al-azim, you make me... I don't like it. Stop. You don't hear that in Jannah. You don't hear it. No nonsense. Nothing irritating. Nothing foul. لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما. Allah, the malaika are just constantly greeting you with salam, salam. Imagine you're going to this big, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, you're going to this big Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, something big. And I heard in India they have a nice Ritz-Carlton. Some of my friends went there and they say, MashaAllah, and you have servants everywhere. They treat you like you're some sort of mihraja. In Jannah, the malaika are doing that. Salam, salam, salam. وَأَصْحَابُ الْيَمِينِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الْيَمِينِ is another category of people in Jannah. فِي سِدْرٍ مَخْضُودٍ. They have this plant, it's called sidr, it's in Arabia. It's a tree. And how many of you are like honey? You're into honey, the stuff you eat, honey. Raise your hand. None of you want to raise your hand? Just the stuff you eat, yeah, don't worry, we're not holding this against you. Some of the best honey in the world comes from where? From Yemen, right? From Yemen. May Allah give them freedom and liberty. And some of the best honey from Yemen is the Sidr Yemen honey, especially the mountainous ones in the areas of usually Hadramaut and others. So this Sidr plant, I don't know if it's called crab apple in English or something like that, but it has a name. Basically, the bees, when they feed off of it, they make the special honey. It's got a unique taste. It's got a unique taste. That tree is familiar to the Arab and the people that know that region. So the name is familiar, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in Jannah, it's much better. Much, much better. It's usually a thorny tree. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, makhdood means in place of every thorn, there's a special fruit. وَطَلْحٍ مَنْضُودٍ. And bananas that are just filled. Banana trees, you ever see the banana trees having bananas? Usually they're green. Then you have to go through a process to make them yellow. In Jannah, there's none of that. It's beautifully ripened. وَظِلٍّ مَمْدُودٍ. And this continuous comforting shade. وَفَاكِهَةٍ وَمَاءٍ مَسْكُوبٍ. And that trickling water that's constantly just pouring for you. You know, you have waterfalls, you have to go all the way to Costa Rica to see a big waterfall, or you have to go all the way to Niagara Falls to see it, along with millions of other people. No, you have that for you privately in Jannah. وَمَاءٍ مَسْكُوبٍ. All sorts. This is our imagination, one or two falls. No, Jannah is going to be beyond that. Beyond. Much more beautiful. And spouses and high elevated beds that move, all sorts of beauty. Brothers and sisters, this Jannah needs people that will work for it. This Jannah needs people that will work for it. This is the time to work. This is the time to work. Read the Quran, listen to the Quran, implement the Quran, and in 2 days we're having our annual fundraiser. This is another way to try to earn the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by supporting His house. Ha antum, this is in the same surah, Surah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the last ayah. Ha antum haula'i tud'auna litunfiqu fi sabilillah. Here you are, being called to spend in the way of Allah. فَمِنكُم مَّن يَبْخَلُ. Some of you are going to be stingy and cheap and withhold. وَمَن يَبْخَلْ فَإِنَّمَا يَبْخَلُ عَن نَفْسِهِ. One who is withholding is only withholding from their own benefit. وَاللَّهُ الْغَنِيُّ. And Allah is self-sufficient, needs none of us. None of us. وَأَنْتُمُ الْفُقَرَاءُ. And you are so much in desperate need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you are so much in desperate need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ. And if you turn away, Allah will replace you with people other than you, and they're not going to be like you. Meaning they're not going to be stingy, they're not going to be cheap. So brothers and sisters, this is the time. Calculate your zakah. Give it to the poor Muslims. And take from your sadaqat and support your masjid generously. Do it for Allah and no one and nothing else. Not for personal recognition, not for anything else. Only to gain that Jannah. إن الله اشترى من المؤمنين أنفسهم وأموالهم بأن لهم الجنة. Allah surely purchased from the believers their lives and their money, their wealth, in exchange for Jannah. Allah Azza wa Jal purchased from the believers their lives and their wealth in exchange for Jannah. إن الله اشترى من المؤمنين أنفسهم وأموالهم بأن لهم الجنة. Make that transaction with Allah. Make that transaction with Allah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us, to use all of us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us sincerity and purity. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have all of us enjoy the Jannah that was described to us in this dunya. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have us converse about every single detail that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described in the Quran, that we wholeheartedly believed in this life. And inshallah we will have a taste of in the akhirah. Ameen Allahumma ameen. Wa qumu ila salatikum yarhamukum.